1, 2,
One,
3,
2, 3,
4. There it is.
You did it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
In this podcast, Ryan will be absent. But in his place,
Today's special guest.
Farty McFartpig. Commodie still. The spirit of Commodie.
I'm glad that we still have the pig. We got to do it while Ryan's on. And let's not tell him. Let's not tell him what the sounds are.
Yeah.
Because he won't have heard the previous episode yet.
Oh, that's right. That's
'cause
right. It's a...
Hello, everybody. This is another episode of 99 Stories, and this is one. And I know you're going to hear this a week after the last one, but we're still in the room. It's the same day. I guess I'll just give that away.
There's this thing that they do in Hollywood where, like, you go to, like, those game shows.
Like a taping?
Yeah, and really, like, it looks like this episodes of this, like, Hollywood Squares is, like, it's all summer long. But
Weeks apart. They do
really,
the whole thing in a day.
Yeah, they really do that in, like, 3 days.
I think they do that with cooking competitions.
I wonder about
I bet
that.
you they film for like 3 days straight, and then they make a whole season out of it. Because
There was
Come on
one
now.
cooking competition where I questioned that, where I didn't believe that was true, and I think it was the guy we talked about it. It's the dry English actor, old Greg, and
oh yeah, great British Bake Off.
yeah.
Old Greg, I'm old Greg.
Because there's days there where it's like it seems like it's super sunny and nice out, and then
Yeah.
there's other days where it's like it's it's bloody old England,
Yeah.
it's die-cast and dreary and.
With that one, I do
Winston
think
Churchill
I
is
think they
back here.
sequester. I think they sequester all the contestants, and they live near that tent. I think they live in like a hotel room. or
That
something.
doesn't surprise me, but I'm saying
And
like
they probably film for a couple of weeks.
I say I say that one's a
Couple of
couple
weeks.
weeks or so because
Yeah.
the days seem not as.
I know for a fact that like
But
big
in-house studio or whatever,
Yeah.
Price is Right and all that they're
a season of Big Brother only happens in like 6 weeks. 6 weeks real time, and then it makes a whole series of shows.
and they just
because
figure out how much footage they have and just stretch it out.
when we used to do the Comic Cons, Cato was our MC, like the host, and I remember
Kato Kalin?
Cato Kalin, yeah,
Are you serious?
yeah, he's my buddy. I got his phone number. You want to get him on here?
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, I got lots of stories about me and Cato. Oh yeah, we won't do that right now, but he told us.
Hold on. I'm still in shock and awe.
Oh no, I'm friends with Cato Kalin.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I don't. Yeah, we tried not to name drop too much, but like, oh my god, yeah, I've got stories. We'll circle back. Put a pin in the Cato Kalin thing because he's super cool. Yeah,
I'm writing
but
it down here. Hold on.
we used to travel to all those different cities. Like Tim and I would drive to the different cities. He would get flown in. The convention stuff would go by semi, so all the big displays and shit would get packed up at the end of the weekend, and the semi, including our equipment, which this was always great, would go from city to city. So we'd either drive or fly in ourselves with nothing but our clothes, and all our shit was already set up by the crew. They were good days. Like, it was really great.
Fuck you.
But I know. I said I wasn't bragging. I was not trying. But then,
Dick.
Cato, the one time we were in some city, and he was like, "Hey guys, I won't be on the tour for about 4 to 6 weeks, and I can't say why." He's like, "I'm literally NDA. I can't say what I'm doing, but it's going to be great. It's going to be a really big thing, a good thing for me." He was constantly trying to get his name back from just being the OJ guy. Like, he tries to be in movies. He was in basketball. Like, he's got these little cameos. He's like, "I'm doing something. It's going to be great."
He's like tapping on the ice, but he still hasn't really like.
Yeah, and it sucks too because he's 60-something years old. I remember the one birthday we got him a cake, but
What?
I know I got a picture of Cato slicing a cake that I bought at Giant Eagle. It says "Happy Birthday, Cato," and it's Cora holding the knife.
What episode of this is of 99 Stories? And
This is going to be like 8 or 9. I didn't do the math. Maybe 10.
I feel like I've had deja vu back where it's like the secret squirrel shit again.
We should have started with
Is
this.
this secret? Is this? Do you hear the secret squirrel shit? This is.
Oh.
Well,
No.
turns out what he couldn't tell us about, which I figured out after long, was he was going to be a contestant on Big Brother Celebrity, and he was. And so for the couple of weeks that it was airing, because it's done pretty close to real time, but not exactly. By the time he was voted off the show, I was already working with him again. He just couldn't say what happened, but he was with us, so I knew he wasn't still on the show. But the shows took another 3 weeks to catch up. He just couldn't say the outcome. You know what I mean? You can't like spoil what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, just the fact that I knew he did live in that place that they show. They get treated a lot nicer than they make it sound, and it's not. You know, Big Brother's like, oh, these people live together night and day, and you can watch them sleep, and you can do all this stuff. Well, they have a number.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
No, but I mean that's the premise of the show is that they all live together, and what fights might happen, and who becomes friends, who becomes enemies, who becomes lovers. You know, but him and Tom Green struck this cool friendship, and it was a good time.
Wait a minute. Have you met Tom Green?
I have not. No. Tom Green never came to the shows, but. Dude, okay, so...
How many degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon are you?
Ryan's like 2. Like, I know a guy who could call him. If I called Cato, he could call Tom. That's just 2.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I
know a guy that can call Kevin Bacon. He did. So, does that make me 1 degree separation? Or
2, because you know a guy that knows the guy.
Yeah.
So you'd also be 2.
So I'm 2.
That's pretty great.
So that
and
makes
I know
you guys,
that. I'm 3.
So you'd be 3.
We're 3 degrees.
Yeah.
3 degrees of separation. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because
well,
I was
good for
like,
us.
yeah, he was telling me that. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he was
So-
like, no, watch. He was like, boop. And he was like, hey, man. Hey, John. How's it going?
Our first...
Like, it's Kevin Bacon.
Our first show that was out of state that we actually had to drive to was Chicago. And we got there. We were super hyped. Beautiful hotel they put us up in. Everything was comped. These were good days. Like those were like a really good 2 years. But we went down for breakfast. You know, normally you do like a continental breakfast, but this was a Regency Hyatt, and it wasn't continental breakfast. It was a whole restaurant. It's a fancy hotel, and we got
They have things like eggs Benedict.
You can order off menu for like $30 a plate, or you can get the buffet, which is still really nice. You know, like top notch buffet. So we
hand rolled crepes.
We went through.
They had hollandaise sauce for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
We went through the buffet
Flan.
line.
They probably had flan.
We went through the buffet line, and if you remember your first day in high school, if you don't know anybody, and you go around with your tray and you scan the room like, oh fuck, where am I gonna sit?
You scanned Kato Kalin?
Well, we're looking around going, oh my God, half this room are celebrities. And you can't just sit at their table because Wizard used to book the entire floor of the hotel. Like the floors that were so high that you had to have your key card give access because not just everybody could go to. I know, I'm not bragging. But it was real. It was a thing. So we were on that floor because they'd bought it out. So we were right next to everybody. And
I'm taking notes and writing this stuff
so
down.
we come down for breakfast, and we'd only met Cato. We met him twice before, so we'd worked together a couple times already. This was the first time we weren't in Cleveland, weren't in Columbus. Like we were on the road. It was really cool. And we've got our tray of food. It's like 8:30 in the morning. We got to get over to the stage by 10:30 or 11. And Cato flagged us down. He was like, hey, broken transmitter. Oh, come over here. And we're like, okay. And we sat, it was him and Thomas Nicholas, who was in American Pie. And he was the kid in...
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
And spoiler alert, we ended up becoming really good friends with him and playing in a band with him. But it was him. We were meeting him for the first time. I got stories. And then it was also Billy Boyd from Lord of the Rings. Sitting there having breakfast with these guys. And we don't know. We're keeping our mouth shut, right? We're just eating, trying not to.
They were friends with the Benedicts.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it all started.
So at one point, Cato looks over at me, goes, "Where are you guys from?" We're like, Akron, Cleveland. We didn't figure they'd know Canton. He goes, "Oh, Akron. So you know what the hell's the guy's name? Oh, I'm drawing a blank." He's like, "You know such and such." And
LeBron James.
No, but the name, I'm like, Pat McCarney or Patrick Carney.
Oh.
Yeah. He goes, "Oh, you know Patrick Carney then?" And I'm like, well, God, that does sound familiar. And it took me 3 seconds to go,
Black
wait,
Keys.
the drummer from the Black Keys?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, you know him? He's my buddy. And I'm like, yeah, I just know him. He's like, no, wait, really, look. And he brings his phone, and he's a whole text thread. They'd been sending each other jokes and shit. I'm like, so I can see his number. I'm like, no shit. He's like, oh, yeah, he invited me out not too long ago. We did this thing. And I was like, dude, we're not on your level, man. But
Now-
yeah, we ended up shooting the shit. And
I've played a couple shows with the Black Keys, but back like
before they got big.
at the Robin Hood in Kent.
I remember the Robin Hood.
And the Robin Hood at Kent, I played with the Black Keys.
Yeah.
Where else have I played with the Black Keys before? Back in, but yeah. But go ahead.
But it was awkward because it was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't know the famous people that you know.
You know, like some people are cool and some people aren't.
Yeah, we kept trying to go, yeah, dude, we don't even know why we're here. Like, you let us sit at the cool table, but we're just going to shut up. But with Billy Boyd, who was such a nice guy, he was a musician too. So we got talking about music, and he's got this band from Scotland called Bee Cake, or Ireland. I'm going to get torn apart by, I couldn't, his accent, I couldn't place if he was Scottish or Irish. It was just a very thick, it was probably Scottish.
Dan Burrows, if you want to fact check that one, please.
Yeah, I could look it up too. But he was a super nice dude, and I shit you not, when we were wrapping up breakfast, he was sitting as close as John is to me now. It was right here, I almost said, catch you at second breakfast? And I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I thought I'd get fired. I thought, well, that's it, I'm done. I'm done on the tour. They're going to say this band was a bunch of dicks. And I didn't do it, and I saw him later in the day signing autographs and being really sweet to his fans and all this. Every kid getting an autograph was like, second breakfast, dude. And I was like, thank God I didn't say that to him. My man's got his reading spectacles on. He was reading the paper, having a cup of tea. The calm before the storm of a day signing autographs and being that guy that your fans want you to be. That's a job. You know, when you're behind that booth signing 1,000 autographs, taking 1,000 pictures.
I'm proud of you.
I held back.
You read the room.
I did. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. And that was I think that's the only thing that garnered us some respect. And a lot of those guys that we saw over and over again, they got more comfortable with us as the time went on. And some of them, like I said, Tom's in my phone, Cato's in my phone. There's other people that we met, some actors that were on Magicians, some that were on different things. Like, we're not great buddies. I can't really just start up a conversation with them because it'll take them a minute to remember, who is this guy?
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah. Met him, but I didn't get his number.
Life
But
finds a way.
I think the thing that they liked was that we didn't come on too strong. Like, we didn't do the fanboy shit, and we just, like this, we were just talking chill.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way with somebody who has to spend their whole life smiling and nodding and signing the autographs. And when they get to decompress after the show or just before, that is precious time. Cato included. When he's doing his thing, he's a firecracker. He's funny. He's got that like Mike Myers wit, and he's bouncing off the walls. And when the show is over and he gets to click that off, it's a chill. It's like this. It's a different guy who's also cool, but you see like the on-air sign turn off, and you're like, now I get to talk to you. All day I couldn't talk to you.
That would be I keep trying to like place like put myself in that situation and everything, and I feel like that'd be like an interesting experience because like the only thing I know like or know up to that point or whatever of Cato was like his little stint with the whole OJ
we all watched it as kids.
Right.
We're about the same age. I watched it in history class as a current event. We watched that whole thing on
And one thing I remember back then was like, oh, there's this Cato Kalin guy or whatever. And they kind of painted him in a picture of like
like a goofball?
A goofball or a guy that was like a limelight chaser, like
sure.
Like, oh, like
me, look at me.
Yeah, like
an actor.
Yeah, like I really only had like 1 second of something to inkling of to do with this, but I'm gonna like stretch this out as far as this is my 15 minutes. I'm getting all of it.
Well, and the sad part is that's both accurate and inaccurate in a way that he knows, and he's a very cool dude. I can't say enough nice stuff about him because you see him, he looks like a goofball. He acts like a goofball. He puts on that character that he's made. He will tell you first person, the world knows him because of that trial.
Right.
Oh, so, absolutely. Because no one knew who the hell he was before then, and they even mentioned about like.
So then to say, I wish nobody associated me with that would be to undo the reason you're even well known.
Right.
And he respects that level. He knows every interview that he ever does. Question 1, Tell us about OJ. Tell us about Nicole. Like, he knows it. And he knows he's got a couple of things he can just throw out quick to divert the conversation to what he's doing now, what he's done since then. It's been 30 years. Like, yeah, this happened. You're right. And this here, I feel this way. And then I moved to West Hollywood and I started doing this other stuff. I hosted a game show. I was in a couple movies. He will professionally take the conversation to a different place. And bless his heart, we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was going to go on the morning show on a news network to promote the show. He was hired by them, so he was their spokesperson. And the local news was letting him on because of the other thing. Of course they were. Again, he goes on. He has to say 2 seconds about what it was like being on the trial of the century, and then divert it to, well, now I'm hosting this Comic-Con. Please come see us. Switch the conversation. And the hate comments on the Facebook page for the local news media, because he would sit there and look, like we make a post, and then you go see how it did.
Never read the comments.
He does.
Oh, no.
I know. And he showed me his phone the one day, and it was in that Tulsa one, and he was just going to see if like they were hyping up his appearance on the talk show, and he'd already recorded his part, and he was back with us, and the comments, the filthy about the murders, about they were getting graphic, and it's a bunch of troll kids. You know how the internet people say the nastiest because they don't think there's real humans on the other side of that. It looked like it broke his heart. He was like, look at this. And he was showing me some of these comments,
man. Like,
and I never knew what that would be like other than to watch a guy go through it. And it's like, dude,
that would be awful.
And I asked him, I said, buddy, how do you do? He says, this is my life. This is, again, he would say, well, this is how people know me. And some people are just really cruel about it. Because at the time, it was
and he had nothing to do with anything.
No,
he
it was
just in the wrong
I think I'd
place
be
at
like
the
excited,
wrong
like,
time.
oh man, this is cool, and then seeing that it was run by like, hey, this is the guy who's going to be hosting it, all this stuff. I'm like, well, that's Kato Kalin, and like, I think for a brief moment, I'd be hesitant to like.
I never asked him anything sensitive. Again, I just want to be on level. If you meet someone famous, you don't want to come off as, will you sign this? Will you take this picture? I just wanted to be allowed to be in the room kind of thing.
Right.
I want a seat at the table. I'm not going to act a fool at all. You can trust me. I'm not going to say something stupid. But I did hear some people over the months ask him some things, and I heard his responses. So I know how he feels about certain shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he loved that Dana Carvey impersonated him on SNL. Like, he loved that. Because that's a big-time comedian being him.
That's an honor.
And he'll post some of that shit on his Instagram, some of those clips of being made fun of, and he rolls with it. He takes the joke. He's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
But super cool dude.
That's cool.
Super, super cool dude. But yeah, off air, I'll show you some videos. I've got some videos in my phone of him goofing around with us. But for today, we are going to call Ryan Baker, who can't be with us, but we're going to try to get him on the horn here.
What do they call that thing in the hologram or
A holodeck. He's on the holodeck.
Number 2? Take a number 2.
Star Trek.
That's a number 1. Where do you take a number 2?
Ryan, can you hear us? Ryan, can you hear us?
General Commodi, are you there?
My phone says we're connected. Can you hear me? It says we're connected.
What it means is this damn thing doesn't work.
We just talked to Jeff. Oh. That's the hang-up sign. He did that. How does the Facebook thing work?
Does he know he can't be in the bathroom? He doesn't get signal there.
Who left the door open?
Hold on, we're trying this.
General Commodi, light a match.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hey.
Hi.
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's like you're really here, Ryan.
I know, right? It probably smells a lot better.
Hey, buddy.
General Commodi.
Oh, hey.
What are you
That's
doing?
right.
What
I'm
are
in a
you?
hot tub.
You're
Are you in a hot tub?
Funny, there's
Too
a
hot
hot
for the
tub
hot tub.
there's a hot tub right behind us.
Wait, where are you in your hot tub at? You're not in my hot tub.
No, I'm in Hocking Hills.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's it like down there?
There's a lot of trees.
Okay.
Ryan, can I ask you
And
a question?
You sure can.
Are you on a weekend getaway with your lady?
No, I got the kids.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because
Dude, I swear to God, if you had a third, I was fucking.
what? You have a 3rd
We're not
kid?
having a third. There's no
I
way.
swear to Christ.
Nope, that ain't happening.
Knock it off.
Don't be a dummy. I won't finish the sentence. You know the end of
Right,
that sentence. You know that.
No, I'm getting snipped as soon as I can.
There you go.
Oh man, can I watch?
You'll probably be the one doing it. So.
Sweet.
He does it at a discount.
I have sharp
I
knives.
know.
He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. I know he'll do me right like he always does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's new. That wasn't even one of mine. Look at that.
Got our own sound effects over here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ryan, what's new
So what
with
you
you,
guys
pal?
talked about?
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah. We this is the second episode of the day. We
Nice.
had Jeff Dickerson on the last one.
Oh, I'm sad I missed that, but hot tubs are more important at this time.
I understand. He would understand. I think he'd
Yeah.
understand.
I love you, Jeff, but no.
Yeah, we might even have to get him back on the line sometime soon because there was a couple stories that we had notes for that we didn't
yeah,
even talk to him about.
We have to
that'd be
recall
sweet.
him.
We got on a nice conversation and we let that roll. And then I looked down when we went off air and I went, "Fuck! We
Yeah.
forgot to ask him about this other great stuff that we need him to talk about."
We just got done with Scott telling us about like he's best friends with Kato Kaelin.
I didn't say best friends.
And they go on.
no,
they
yeah,
go
you
on.
guys
They go on
totally
trips
are.
together to the fucking Bahamas. And
I didn't say that.
No.
Scott has a key to Kato Kaelin's personal catamaran.
I didn't say that.
And
Oh, nice.
No, they're
And he
just
knows
friends with
what-
the Benedicts.
He
That's
knows
all.
what. Yeah, he had eggs Benedict on his personal yacht.
I think John just named this episode too. Friends with
Oh,
Benedicts.
like you tossed Benedict Cumberbatch's salad. You said?
Yeah.
No, the
ooh,
first
yeah.
time that they had a.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to say the first time because I wasn't there. But he was just talking about how they had breakfast together. So that's how they became friends with the Benedicts.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
There it is. $30 a piece at a high-end hotel in Chicago.
Not surprising that Scott told us though was that Kato Kaelin is not a big fan of orange juice in the morning.
Really?
I didn't
Yeah.
say that either.
Fresh
if he
cut.
ever hears this, he's gonna be like, Scott.
Fresh cut,
We can no longer be
fresh
friends.
cut oranges.
Hold the hollandaise.
Man, he's got a thing for orange juice, huh?
You know what's funny? You're gonna laugh at this.
Uh-huh.
I told Anne recently wanted to get a different car, and she was eyeballing a Ford Bronco in white,
do it.
a white Ford Bronco.
Oh, do it.
They had them at the end of our street at the dealership, and I said, "You can't."
Yeah.
I said, "You can't do that." She goes, "Why? It's a good car." I said, "Fuck the car, a white Ford Bronco," and I'm friends with Kato Kaelin. She goes, "Really? You think anyone's going to put that together?" I'm like, "I will put that together."
If she gets that, can we have you guys get like a picture together, like Kato driving it, and you just like.
Well, the thing is, I don't see him anymore. He's in L.A. and he doesn't do the cons anymore, and I don't really even do the cons anymore.
Oh, he does the cons. I'm telling you. He knows a guy that knows a guy. You know what I'm
That
saying?
does a con that wrote a
Hey.
book. Oh, come on.
Hey, so I was thinking, the last episode I was with you guys, we were talking about at the end of Put-in Bay season, they put all the liquor like in a bag or something like that. And you drink the Harry Buffalo style.
Yeah, White Spider. Yeah.
So Scott, do you remember when ISO played that house party with I think Last Second Decision and Laughter with Knives?
Oh boy. House
It
party.
was it was out in the sticks. It was out in the sticks. Like the cops came like after we played or something like
Oh,
that.
I do remember that.
But like, here's the thing: is I know this is gross and totally like far left, but I remember they had a Harry Buffalo bag. And I remember me and you went up to the Harry Buffalo, like took a scoop out. It was like, oh, this is good. And someone come running up and threw up
vomited in
the trash
it.
bag.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God!
like right after we got a cup, and we were like, boy, did we time that right?
We timed it perfect. Well, and, yeah,
Oh man, it would have been so chunky.
here's the question. Here's the question. Did we get to it in time, or was that the second hurl?
Oh, did you
I don't
guys
know.
get Doberman pinchered? You've been Doberman.
Were we drinking dog ice water?
Oh man.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, as we were talking last time, I was like, oh my goodness, I remember the Harry Buffalo and someone thrown up into it, and it almost turned to beef stew.
Oh my good lord. Yeah, Laughter with Knives was the only band that would play with us. You know how you guys
Beef stew.
You know, Commodity.
Commodity.
You know how
Hey.
every band seems to find a buddy band, like another band of different guys. Maybe
Yeah.
they're from a different area. You bring them in for a show, they bring you out for a show, and then like that's like your go-to. Hey, I'm doing a show. We should call this group because it's like your buddies, your go-to, and that we really had that with Isolation Theory because we were too heavy for the punkers. We were too soft for the metal guys. Like we couldn't find a niche where people wanted to do a show with us.
I get you. Same with Neckbeard.
You know, like it was hard enough to find like fans that liked the music, but it was also hard to find a venue and other bands
And
that
the
would
whole
let
time
us
you just-
play.
you just wanna play a
We just
show.
want to play our
Just wanna
song.
play a fucking show, man.
And we were proud because
Yeah.
our music was really a mix of all these different things we loved.
I wish they would
There
stop
was-
doing where where it's just all one genre show. Like, oh, this is a metal show.
Yeah.
I wish they would like separate. Like,
let it be a little more eclectic.
yeah.
I bet you it's like
Yeah.
that now though.
I hope.
Look how many bands
hope.
are so different and get put on Lollapalooza or something big. Like on a big scale, it is not that weird to see.
No,
like Metallica
but-
played
but for-
Lollapalooza
but
right
local,
after Green
but
Day or
local
something.
wise, it is. There's a weird taboo-ness with it with
Right.
the local.
Yeah,
thing.
I don't understand that. Like, it's a lot of the venues around here. Like, you have to be punk or metal, or you want to play our venue, and that's not cool. Like, that's not creating. That's not creating a scene. That's creating separation, and that's not okay.
I kind of had that problem at Buzzbin all those years, and it had nothing to do
Yeah.
with Mike or Chris or whoever. It was just the bands. Like, I was never punk enough or heavy metal enough. I always was doing that grungy alt rock, and there wasn't a home for it there. There was more maybe at the Oracle, but I wanted to say yes to Buzzbin shows, but it was like, well, who are you going to put us with? And that was always the $1,000,000 question: was who sounds like us, or who even is going to play nice with us? But Isolation Theory had that with a group called Laughter with Knives, because they were also kind of. It had like a, I want to say Tool, but that's not correct.
No.
They were also a trio.
They were a trio.
Yeah.
Prog rock. I don't know what you call them, but that's what I loved. Is you really couldn't put your thumb on it.
Wasn't that
And,
Berg?
Andy Berg, the,
Yeah.
one
Rest
and,
in
the one
peace.
and only,
Yeah, and-
the one and only Andy Berg.
And they were all great because Nick Rears was the drummer, and then Kevin played bass. Like,
Yep.
yeah, Andy, and Andy has since passed away, which super bummed me out.
Oh, me too, for sure. He was a real sweetheart of a guy. He always reminded me of the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Put
Yeah.
him up. I'll fight you with one arm behind my
Yeah.
back, even like Snagglepuss.
He was such a nice guy.
Yeah. No, he was
You know what-
wonderful, but he had that
Yeah.
look about him, like he looked like a lion.
You know what my favorite thing about Andy Berg was?
What's that?
Is our first show, I think it was at the Hi-Fi Club or something like that.
Okay.
And I think they played with us, and Andy knew every one of our lyrics, and we hadn't even like released anything yet.
Yep.
He knew all of our words and sang them from the crowd. And I thought that was one of the most amazing things that ever happened from like one of our friends.
We just had that conversation with Jeff Dickerson, almost verbatim what you said,
Yep.
to where Jeff was talking about how all these years, personally, he preferred local music and his friends' bands. Like that's the music that was in his CD player, on his iPod, now probably
Sure.
on his Spotify. Like he had no idea who was on the top 100 and what was popular in the big time. But he knew every local guy's lyrics. And I told him some stories about where I remember him coming to my shows and singing all the words. And just how cool that is. Because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I listen to his records, and we loved Laughter with Knives. And I remember That One's Taken. And I remember like all these great local groups. And those were the CDs in my collection.
Oh, yeah,
And,
for a while.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Franklin,
Oh, yeah.
all those guys, all the guys that were local, I rocked them out almost exclusively, almost like it was a badge of honor to have a CD book that was like, I know all these guys. Like,
Oh,
I know where
had
they
a CD book
recorded.
that was like it had like masking tape on it. It was like local only on it.
Yeah.
And it was like that was
when
I wish I still had
when
that.
Rock 107 was still owned by Cumulus, and I know I'm going back 30 years.
Time Warner.
Oh, Sunday Night Locals?
Sunday Nick's Local Licks.
Yeah,
It
yep.
started on a Friday night, but then eventually moved to Sunday night. But Mikey was my guitar player, and his roommate Ryan was an intern at 107, and he introduced us to Nick Andrews, and that was one of my first like celebrity encounters. Like Nick wasn't
Sure.
a big time celebrity, but I used
He was a radio DJ.
he was a
like,
radio
yeah, it has
DJ,
an
and
aura
like
to
I
it.
grew up like the
Yeah.
first time I ever heard Nirvana, Nick played it on the air, and I used to listen like religiously to the
Nick's Local
rock
Hits.
battle
Yeah.
and all that stuff where he'd pit two songs against each
Cage
other,
match.
cage match and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
And I
yeah.
used to listen to him all the time. So when I got to meet him, it was like meeting a real celebrity, and he ended up being super cool, and we became friends.
It was super weird to see it like.
He's such a short little dude.
The short little dude with a mullet, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Why do you have a mullet?"
Yeah.
like,
you
what?
know, and
I thought you were cool.
he would let us on the air. Like Mainline would go in a couple different Friday nights. He would let us come in, and we'd go in about 10 o'clock, and we couldn't say a word because he was still doing his primetime show. But we were in the studio, and when he'd hit a commercial break or a long song, that's when we crack a beer. Or if he put on November Rain, which is 11 minutes long, we'd go outside and have a cigarette or something. Like at midnight on the dot, the FCC regulations would let up. You couldn't swear still, but the rules changed at midnight back then.
They lighten up a little bit.
They
yeah,
did.
Yeah, yep.
And I swear at midnight, hey, so this is Nick Andrews, and this is Local Licks, and I've got Local Band Mainline in the studio. And it sounds like we just got there, but we'd been there 2 hours drinking with him. And we'd be like, hey, everybody, yeah, we got this big show at Sadie Renee's next week, and we're going to talk about it. And we had our own CD book, and he would let us pull anything out and play it on the air with the trust that we knew it didn't have hard swear words. But it was like locally produced hardcore records at midnight on Rock 107. And talk about glory days, man. Like it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And all we wanted to do was represent the whole scene. We played a couple mainline songs, talked about who we were and why we showed up, and then we played other dudes' records. And that was just as cool to walk in with my own binder.
I remember we went on there towards the end of that because ISO was on there, I think, for one.
Yeah.
I think we did maybe Blind Eyes or something. Like me, you, and Damien went.
Yeah.
And we thought it was just so cool because like Nick was like, hey, just come in, drink your beers, just shut up until I tell you to talk. I'm like, all right, cool, you know?
Well, yeah, he
So-
told us the rules. My brother, who's 10 years younger than me, and I would have been 21 or 20 at the time. My brother was 10 when I took him in Rock 107. And, he'd be a good one to ask his perception of that story. But he did the same thing because he also listened to Nick Andrews. So when he met him, he had the same experience that I did, but I'd already gotten to know him a year or two. And so by that point, it's just your buddy. You know, the star thing wears off, and it's just a guy. It's a guy that you know.
Yep.
But
I think you played a show at the Canton Civic Center one time, and I think Nick Andrews was like doing like a wrestling thing. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like getting two stories crossed here, but he was doing like like ringside announcing. And I remember I walked up to him like during this event. I was like, "Hey Nick, remember Ryan from Isolation Day?" That's me. He's like, "Hey buddy, how's it going?" I was like, "That's cool." Like you took a couple moments to say what's up to a nobody like me. That was kind of cool.
no, but he loved that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, those were just really, really good days. But we all supported kind of everybody in the scene, and what a nice time that was. And we all knew the lyrics to each other's songs. And
And it was wild too because like back then it was like Sadie's, Carriage House, BB McLean's,
yeah,
and like there was no like Sadie's versus BB's. There was nothing like that. Like it was like
No.
it was all part of the scene. And
Yeah.
now there's this stigma now where people are like, "Oh, you play there. Oh, you suck." It's like, no, dude. Like we have like 3 venues to choose from. Like stop being a douche canoe about this.
Show's
you know
a
what I mean?
show.
Yeah.
Now I will say though, I do like sometimes when there's event like okay, back when like Buzzbin was downtown, there were I noticed there were certain bands that just seemed like every show that they had almost like sometimes it'd be like 3 times a week.
just at the one.
Yeah, just at the one venue. I'm like, whoa, that's overkill, man.
Yeah, you
like,
you should not be playing the same venue more than once every 2 or 3 months. That's overkill.
yeah.
But then again, if it was the certain kind of music, like Buzzbin really afforded itself to hard punk, heavy metal, and Oracle kind of didn't for a long time. Oracle was a little more pop, I guess it just depended
Sure.
on who you were, because I happily played at both. I enjoyed both.
Oh,
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
And I never really saw a problem with that. And back in the day, I played
No.
Sadie's, I played BB's, I played Carriage House, the Grotto. I mean, there was only like a handful of places you really could play.
I didn't
The
get
Grotto.
Remember the Grotto?
Grotto. I didn't get to
Dude, that stage was so small, so thin, I should say.
Yeah.
Where was it? Wait.
Yeah.
Grotto
Rod's
was
Crossroads at Akron.
Oh,
Talmadge.
yeah.
Yeah, it's up for sale.
Really?
I think Ryan, didn't you say
Wait,
that?
Ron's Crossroads? No, it's torn down.
No, not Ron's Crossroads. At the Grotto.
No, yeah.
Oh,
Ron's is
oh,
Pro.
okay.
The Grotto is over in Talmadge. I think.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm sorry.
But I mean, you played around it wherever you could play. And it was hard back then not to spread yourself too thin because you wanted to play.
Yeah.
You wanted to play all the time. Andy Bors would be a good guy to bring on the show and talk about, like, Divorce Horse was kind of one of those groups that you saw them like every couple weeks they played. But I think they were eager to play.
But they pulled.
They pulled and they were eager to play, and they all had strong connections to the local scene. Like, they knew everybody, and they were the guys you grabbed in a moment's notice. Like, hey, we got this show. We need a third band. Let's ask those guys. And they would say yes. So I think that's part of why you would see them so much, is because even the venue was like, well, these guys are good for it. I can trust them to show up and rock.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about these guys.
I didn't get to play Buzzbin until like way later into the game. But that's also
Politics.
Yeah.
Personnel.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I was saying I didn't get to play there off the bat because the music I was doing wasn't fitting the style of shows they were booking. It wasn't heavy enough, or it wasn't obscure enough. It was like by the time I was doing Pirate Signals and it was kind of just normal grungy rock, that's the last thing they wanted because that sounded like Granddad's music.
We basically like blacklisted ourselves by exposing that the original owner was just a giant fucking piece of shit. And
How do you really feel?
fuck.
Battle stations.
Whoa!
I'm gonna have fun mixing this later.
No, like
No, there wasn't a bunch of songs written about it at all.
I'll put it this way: like some bands have like a song written about that guy, and Son of Neckbeard has a whole fucking album about that guy. Just to, like,
Well,
put
but then
it in.
the behind the scenes was one of your members worked with him for a while, and then that went sour. Correct? And I'm not going to say names or what happened, but I mean, is that kind of?
I can tell the whole story. I mean, it's fine. Whatever. But okay. One that he was taking advantage of people. There's people that, you know, they all, like some people have carpenter skills, like we have musician skills and shit. But he was like, hey, I need a bar built. Could you build this bar for me? Right. And then
Right.
hey, would have some type of agreement, like I'll pay you for it or whatever. Well, then he would give him like the money, but it would only be enough money to cover materials, not really like labor or anything. So like this dude bought the wood and stuff with this money, built a bar, but then there was like nothing for him at the end of the day. And he'd be like, well, hey man, like, can I get my thing?
He was trying to cash in a friend favor on everything.
On everything.
On everything. Okay.
And
That's fair.
And these people some of these people that I know of, were putting aside actual pain
work, yeah.
where they, you know, like, hey, I could have gotten this job at this house doing someone's, like, redoing their cabinetry and stuff, and been able to pay my bills and live and eat.
That's shitty.
And then over on this other hand, I put that aside to build you a bar and everything, thinking, this was going to be cool. And now you're offering me like free burger beer for like a couple times, like And he started doing that, taking advantage of people a lot. And I was like, I'm not like, like that's.
I would rather pay my friends to do jobs like that than expect
100%,
it for free.
100%.
It's like if I'm going to ask for somebody's time to do something like that, like, hey, I'm going to give this work to this guy and pay him.
Like
You're hiring them
'cause it's
because
like
they're your
eventually-
friend, not
Right.
because you're trying to get a handout.
Right?
freebie.
Yeah, it's like don't expect anything
like
for free.
we just bought this house and like moved in and stuff, and so we had people help us out, but like we made sure that like that there was definitely like food, beverages, like they were like provided and taken care of and stuff for helping us out and everything. Like it's just a common courtesy thing. And when I don't know, man, it's and not only did it like start going with like just taking like screwing over people, like people, my friends and stuff like that wise, but then like there was times when like he would have bands come in from out of state and stuff to play and then not pay them. And it's like, dude, these are bands that are like, they're touring bands. This is like they like.
Is there any kind of agreement though leading up to that?
Dude, the one band was Hidden by the Grapes.
That's where a lot of people get screwed too. It's like it's like if you don't have an agreement beforehand, then.
For me personally, this was kind of like the whole like I've had enough of this, and there was a band called Hidden by the Grapes, which is a band from overseas, and they were over.
Yeah, they're like Austria or something.
Yeah, and they were over here in America for like 5 days or so, and they were mostly like New York. Oh man, it was like along the coast.
Yeah.
But not very far, like like not very like not down
As far
to
as they
Florida.
could travel in a rented van.
Yeah, kind of or so. But Mike, or the current owner, saw
Well,
whatever, saw that they had an off day,
off night,
right?
yeah.
And goes, hey, and I'm a real big fan. I see you guys have this off day. I have this venue. I can give you guys like
Room and board.
Hotel, food, money. I'll pay you guys and everything. If you, like,
And a touring band goes, "Oh my god,
would you
that's
guys-
perfect. That's
would you-
perfect."
Would you guys? Yeah, because that's extra scratch. They don't have to like that. They don't have to report that or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
we've-
That's like
we've mentioned before that if you're on tour, every day off, you're losing money.
Right.
yeah.
You're paying for hotels. Maybe you're paying your crew if you have one. Like you're hemorrhaging money if you're not.
So
playing.
I want to say they were coming from like Maryland or something like that over here, and they did. They played great show. At the end of the night, Mike, the owner, the piece of shit never showed up to the show.
Oh,
So never showed up. There was no money. There was no hotel room. There was no extra provisions, food, beverages, whatever. There was no nothing. There was nothing. And they came over here and was like,
so where's all this stuff? And
We were-
where's our guy?
we were-
And they're like, well, the guy's not here.
he's not
And there's
here.
no
Yeah,
thing.
wouldn't even show up or anything like that. And
Maybe
I was
because he
like,
knew he'd have to face the music.
dude,
that day.
I don't know, but I was just like, like,
Did anybody offer him a Florida crash on or anything?
I do believe like they,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, you and me have had that. We've slept on some weird floors.
oh my god, Kenny,
Yeah, right. Get that trash can lid off
that's
your
a
head.
whole episode of staying at
Yeah.
weird places, weird people's places.
Get out of my cruiser, dude. You're drunk.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was just so much crap that was just volatile.
John, has it ever happened with you where somebody reaches out to you and it's a friend or it's a loose acquaintance and they're like, oh, hey, we're having this party and you have a band, right? Will your band play?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And they're asking in the way that they want you to just do it because you're buddies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the time. That happens.
They don't even want to comp you well.
Quit playing with that rubber duck, Brian. I can hear that.
They don't even want to comp you well. They just want to phone in a favor as if you owed them a favor.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's never even someone close to you. It's like an acquaintance you met
Yeah.
once, and now they think you're pretty good friends. And
Here's
hey, come play my house. Well, what's it pay? Well, like I'm having a pig roast. I'll feed you. And it's like, yeah, but if
Yeah.
and like you said, Joe, if I say yes to you on a Saturday night in
Right.
July, I'm not making $1,000. I don't know what the number is, some number.
Right, yeah.
I'm not making that, which is my bills.
Right,
To
right.
just party for free? I can party anywhere.
party anytime,
I don't
yeah.
care. I'll just take a guitar
Party
to
in
a
the
party.
USA.
Yeah, I'll party at my own house for my own fridge.
Another great moment in stupid fucking history is that there is okay, so like in Southern Neckbeard, we got in cahoots with these artists down at AE, which was like 4th and Rex downtown, and they had a giant warehouse, and they allowed us to have our own place to establish home and have a practice space for years and years and years. Thank you very much, guys. That does not go unappreciated. But also
Yes, sure.
on
Yep.
First Friday events, we would have the after party. So
Yeah.
First Friday would happen, blah 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 blah. That would die
Wait,
down.
are you
and then
telling the
we'd
roof story?
No. and then we would throw shows there with other like bands and stuff.
I
And
went to some of those after
They were
parties.
great.
Sorry.
We
I
had
think I
great-
saw Mintz play there once.
We had great shows there all the time and great rapport. We never had any fights or nothing bad. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, during this kind of time or so, Buzzman decides that they're going to like form a record label. And they threw Son of Neckbeard on there. They threw Super Predator on there. They threw the Intangibles. There was a bunch of us that were on there. Well, then comes time for them to do their very first Brood Roots event downtown.
I remember Brood Roots.
And Brood Roots had a bunch of bands, tons of bands on it, but there was not a singular band from
Their
that
fledgling label?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from that label whatsoever, like on there. And we're like, whoa, man, like how, like we noticed that, so we started like made our own like group page and started having this other, hey, did you guys get asked to do this? No. Did you? Like, no. Like, why aren't we on this? Like, everyone was like, what the hell? Like, you just
Yeah.
formed this huge record label, like have all these flagship bands, and now you're not even showing them on like this huge thing.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, whatever. That's Mike's doing. Whatever. We still have, it's a First Friday event. We're still going to have the after party. So why don't we have all the guys that are on this Canton label there, Canton record label, play at AE and do this thing. And so everyone's like, yeah, let's do that. And so we put flyers and all that stuff. Well, we started getting contacted by Mike, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, is there any way you guys could like not do that show and blah blah blah?" And we're like, "Why?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, it might take away from the Brood Roots." We're like, "No, it's not. The Brood Roots is over by. It says here on your thing, it's over by
10 or
9.
11, yeah.
10 like by 10 o'clock or so. We don't even start until like 11. So there's no interference with that whatsoever. So next." And then it got like he kept complaining. And we're like, "Here's a better question, Mike. We're like, how come you don't have a single band on your record label on this
Represented,
thing?
yeah.
Whatsoever." And I was like, it became this huge thing, and neither side was backing down on it because it was BS. And after that, I was like, I don't want to have nothing to do with that guy. Like,
Sure.
and as you see, we don't have a venue anymore to call home here in the music scene because of him. Who was there that took it over, who could have probably done it right, still couldn't do it right because it was still owned by that fucking piece of shit. Like, it's terrible.
No, I get you.
Don't buy the snake oil, people. Don't buy the snake oil.
AE was cool too because if nobody got to see the inside of it in its glory day, it was a big empty warehouse or manufacturing type old building like a company would have been there.
Originally, it was.
What did it used to be?
A bowling alley.
Really?
Yep.
Originally, it was a bowling alley.
I wouldn't have guessed that given the layout.
The way, if you look at the ceiling would go and have these, like, every once it would just have a break where it would go up and then have, like, this, like, 90-degree slant again to it.
Yeah.
And that was where the lights were, where they had the lights
over
angled.
the lanes.
Over the lanes, yeah.
Okay.
And then, and I don't know if, like, where we built that stage, if you were standing on the stage looking at, like, I don't know, the front, back door, however you want to picture that.
Sure.
Over to the left, up on the left side, there was this weird metal basket with half a metal ladder hanging down. Mm-hmm. That was the line judge. There's a little box, like, they would sit. I tried to sit. Me myself was like in fetal position in that thing,
Like
so it had to be
squeezed up in
it
there.
had to be like the littlest kid ever. But there's a little thing
Jockey.
on there that had like they must have had 12 lanes because there's a little, and whoever's foot went over the line, they'd flip that switch and mark it. Yeah,
Nice.
Over the line, mark it, Donnie. Like,
Yeah. No, there's rules.
Who is the artist who did all the metal works?
oh,
Pat Buckford.
Pat.
yeah.
He did such cool artwork because it was a big open space and it had an industrial feel to it. One of those places where you don't have to worry about keeping it super clean because, like a workshop, like stuff happens,
Oh,
shit
man.
gets dirty, whatever,
Yeah,
shit gets
and,
dusty.
You know, and Pat's one of those artists where like he doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Like he did a lot of great art for Canton.
Well, and that's
Stark County.
kind of what I wanted to
Like
say
that. He
is
doesn't get enough credit.
his work was beautiful and it was neat to see some of the half finished projects in there that he got commissioned for. And I remember the unrelated. I remember the toilet situation.
Oh man,
It didn't have running
wouldn't
water.
have running water,
So you
yeah,
had to
so-
pee in a toilet that had no curtain or nothing. Everybody could just watch you take a leak, and then you had to have a bucket of water to pour down the thing to make it flush.
Scott, did you ever get the tour?
I don't know if I got the full tour, but
do we ever take you to the basement or the pigeon layer upstairs?
Oh God, it's been so many years. I honestly don't
Do
know.
we introduce you to Ninja Pigeon?
Ninja Pigeon?
Ninja
And
Pigeon.
Lewis?
No, but that'd be a
Pigeon.
good episode
Lewis.
title too. Ninja Pigeon.
Ninja Pigeon was something else,
But,
man.
well, I was gonna say because there was a toilet that could not be used in the basement, and I dropped a deuce in that thing and left.
Oh, I did that at the old music shop on
Yeah.
on First Street when Bob and Johnny had it, and there was that recording studio
Okay,
upstairs.
so if an Irish goodbye is when you just like leave without saying anything, you just
Yeah.
vanish or whatever. Like what type?
that's a Baker goodbye.
like yeah, I was. I'm trying to think what type of
He
nail.
dropped a big old General Commode,
yeah, like,
and then he dipped, and then he was out. Get out! Hunt for Red October. Yeah, we had that problem when
Hunt for the blue waffle.
oh man, oh, oof.
oof. When there was that little recording studio at the top of the old music shop, the toilet in the way back,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it didn't run, and it always smelled like jankum in there. It always smelled like
Wait, what's what?
you jankum. You know jankum?
What's Jake?
Oh, so jankum is when homeless people shit in a jar and let it ferment and then huff the gas to get high.
What?
You don't know jankum? Boy, you
That
ain't
ain't-
lived.
That is not real. That's not real at all. What type of Neanderthal shit is that?
You gotta look it up.
Oh, I'd rather them smoke crack.
Well,
you
if
know what the
can't
messed up
afford,
story is?
if you can't afford to smoke crack, you sniff it.
So wait, there's
Look it up. in the Urban Dictionary.
Shank 'em.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What type of prison shit is that? That's prison high shit.
Oh, it's bad.
My
it's
God.
bad.
So
That's
you know what
wild.
the studio was upstairs? It used to be an apartment.
Oh, that would explain the layout. Yeah.
So
Because that did look like a bedroom back there, or a bathroom.
yeah. So I guess there was a guy that lived up there, and like he was disabled or something, and I don't know. He's kind of weird. And I guess Johnny and Bob were downstairs, and they heard a big thud, and they're like, "Oh man, Larry's dead," and he died. That was actually him dying. They heard him fall and die.
Really?
No kidding.
Holy shit.
They're like, "Oh, look, I guess Larry's dead."
Well, and then
next
they
thing I know,
never
like, 2 days
never
later,
bothered to flush the toilet.
Wait, did he die on the toilet?
Wait. No, he died like just above them at the shop. He just they heard him fall, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
Larry-
this
All
space
right.
would have been over their
Because if he
sales
died
floor.
on the toilet, that would be called a Memphis send-off.
Yeah, that's the. Thank you very much.
But then when you find someone that's dead on the toilet, that is the Graceland greeting.
oh no." Return to sender.
The fact that you had those at the ready makes me know that they're true. Because
Yeah,
you did.
yeah, uh-huh.
You can't just come up with that on the fly.
that's real.
You can't come up with that on the fly.
That is real things.
I'm going to Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee.
It's besides the many things that I've done in my life, working in the funeral home trade is one of them. Picking up the deceased,
boy.
and yeah, the Graceland greeting is definitely real, and so is the Memphis send off.
Jeez.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
so many good titles this episode could be called.
The Graceland greeting was great because he was literally like on the
Yeah.
toilet, but like he must have been like, but his hand was up, like it was literally like,
I got a question.
hey, like hi, yep, I died on the shitter. It's just as embarrassing for me as it is for you guys.
That's terrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, remember about pants? We never talked about pants.
We never talked about pants.
About fuck pants and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I'm not wearing pants
Okay,
right now.
this brings us all in here.
Right, said I'm not wearing pants right now.
Oh, dude, you might want to put on some pants, dude.
Because you're going to shit
I
'em.
ain't got time for it.
No, okay, because we've always said forever, like pants, fuck pants, right? 'Cause-
Episode 1, you said fuck
yeah,
pants.
fuck pants, right? Fuck pants.
We're doing a big callback here.
Check this out.
All right, long-time listeners, here we go.
Mm-hmm. In my experience of funeral home and picking up the deceased after getting a call, hey, we gotta go pick up someone.
Oh, I already see where you're going.
I am not kidding you. I am not even kidding you. 99.99 repeating percent of the time when we go to pick up people, they are not wearing pants.
I don't blame him.
And so it almost seems as if like if you don't want to die, wear pants.
Okay, so that is not fuck pants.
No, fuck pants is all wrong. Fuck pants is the quickest way for you to like end up in the grave.
So it's okay.
So it's
unfuck pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pants. Yes.
I'm for them.
Yep.
See, I thought you were going somewhere different. I thought you were going to say because most people die and they shit themselves.
Oh
because
no!
you release.
Well, yeah, that happens. Yeah.
So I thought you were going to say when you show
no.
up, nobody wants to
No,
get that
they
part
are.
and move the body.
And not most of the time, not even under like no pants, no underwear, but like 99.9% of the time.
Could it just
no
because they're at
pants.
home?
Well, they're bedridden now because you can get like bed sores and stuff.
Well, you can put that in you can put that in the whatever the equation there.
Yeah.
But for
Well, like if I'm at home, I'm not wearing pants. Like, yeah, right. You know what's funny? That used to be part of
If
my.
you knock on my door, I ain't wearing pants.
Well, don't knock on my door.
Same here.
Don't the whole unannounced showing up at my house. Don't do it because I'm not wearing pants. But that used to be part of my when I would negotiate my fee for going to perform. The longest running joke was I don't put pants on for less than $200.
yes.
So it was like, how much does it cost to get you to do a show? I'm like, well,
Right.
it's $200 for me to put on pants and leave my house, and then we're talking.
Yeah.
From there, how good of a show do you want it to be?
Right.
Man, woman, don't matter.
No kidding.
No pants in death. There's no pants in death. Like how there's no sex in the champagne room.
Yeah.
There's no pants in death.
Yeah, you don't want champagne. You want sex, but there's no sex in the champagne.
No.
Who was that? Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Because
show
like, if
Will
a girl
Smith
has
a
a
finger.
tongue ring, she will suck your dick. If a guy has a tongue ring, he will suck your dick.
Oh, Chris Rock.
I had a problem with that song because I had a tongue ring at that time. I was like, that's not true. That's
not what I
That's a
heard.
goddamn lie.
Jeez. There
Yeah.
you go. Where do you go from that?
Oh,
Where do we go from here?
Where's the pig?
Oh,
You got it.
Commodian spirit.
Yeah.
Commodie. What do you? Jeez.
Oh, Ryan, it's like you're here.
I'm like, this hot tub doesn't work, but I can create my own bubbles in it.
Hey,
Joe's got a toy pig. It looks like a dog chew toy, and it's got a squeaker in it that makes a fart sound.
Yep.
So we've been
That's
dropping
amazing.
in little fart sounds through the episode.
Yeah, you've been hearing spirit. Like,
good. I don't want you guys to get used to it. You know, I'm used to me not being there. So
What he said? Get used to him not being there. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
hey, speaking of Hocking Hills, have you gone to? Oh, I keep bumping this thing. There you go.
There you go.
Have you gone to the Rock House yet?
no, like we just got in a little bit ago. Like we got checking about 4, but everything's closed down here. Like we went to go do that gem mine thing, and it was like, no, see you in April. We're like, you lying sacks of shit.
Oh, that sucks.
We're gonna try to do the old man cave, I think, tomorrow, but that's all we got planned.
The Rock House is really close to the Old Man Cave. You can actually get both those in
In a day?
Yeah, in a day for sure. Because the Old Man Cave is like just giant like cavern thing. You're like, oh, this is it. Like, where's it at? You're like, no, this is it. You're like, oh, this is it. But yeah, Hocking Hills is fun. I really like Hocking Hills.
Yeah, I guess this is our first time down here. Got the kids. I'm sure you hear them screaming in the background because it's freaking awesome.
Yes.
Happy vacation.
That's all right. That's part of the fun.
Right.
I got.
You're gonna miss this.
What's
I get it.
I'm trying to think of the. Oh man, listen,
Well,
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Happy podcast, people. Screaming kids.
Yes. Can you make it happen more often?
Squeeze them more.
Instigate something.
Yeah, smack them around a little bit. I'm just kidding. Or am I?
Like take the Switch controller and tell them that the other one took it or something.
Yeah.
No,
There's-
they do it on their own. It's hard.
There's some spots down there that I really would like to see. I'd like to see the hotel thing that they built into the cavern.
Oh yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
That'd be
There's
sweet.
a A-frame treehouse kind of thing that sleeps like 10 people, and it has like a little loft up in the top steeple part of the triangle with a skylight, or like it's all plexiglass on the top, so you can like look at the stars and lay in a bunk bed kind of thing.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to like just take a bunch of us down, like rent it for the weekend, jam, go on a little hike.
Man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd pitch in $10 for that.
little band
This
sabbatical.
this thing you have, it's portable, right? Like
Mine is. I can
Is
run
it
this
ba-
on
is it
batteries.
batteries?
I can run batteries. The only thing I wouldn't have is the samples, but we could have everything else.
yeah, we wouldn't need the samples for what I'm thinking of though.
Yeah. And I could even bring a normal mic and not run Phantom, and the batteries would last longer.
Okay, and there's what up to 4 mics are acceptable in it or
I
something.
can
Or
do
how many- how
six. I can do six microphones, but only 4 headphones.
Okay, so that's
Some
that's
of our
perfect.
line-ins
So-
are for sound effects.
So we could
and
set
Ryan's
up,
on one of the channels right now on his phone call.
all right, so we can set up somewhere and then have the 4 of us talking, but then have like another mic somewhere just to like pick up whatever if it picked up something.
Like wildlife and shit. Or are you talking like extraterrestrial? Like
Well, no, like
Bigfoot. What do you think's out there, Joseph?
No, well, there's like the Moonville Tunnel, right? And the Moonville Tunnel's known for being like haunted and stuff.
Oh.
And it
Paranormal cookies.
like it'd be kind of cool, like not like
Pair of normal cookies.
You'll never find
go there not on like a premises of like we're gonna do a paranormal podcast or anything,
But just see what happens?
But just see what happens.
You
Like,
know, other than when we just talked to Jeff too, it'd be cool to get Ludwig on here and talk about the old spot he had in Maslin.
Oh, I can
all
tell
the
you about that because I
ghost
had a
stories.
super that is one of my most like
Were you there for the record they were trying to make, and they kept having like deleted tracks and extra noises on the machine?
Dude, hey, that look at the hair on my arm, man.
I see it.
Because we live. Holy shit, dude.
Billy
They
and
practice
Jeff
down
both.
there.
Yeah, Billy and I practiced there a couple
that
times too.
that
They used to tell me some wild stories about that room.
that place and me being there while that was going on and everything. That okay, I you know when you're like, oh, I might have a belief in something or whatever, but then something happens and you're like for real,
Yeah.
ghosts are real, or for like, hey, nope, this is real. Whatever.
Something solidified the way you feel.
Back
Okay.
then, I had really long hair and my hair was tight back into a ponytail. Okay.
This was one of the stories I heard.
Oh man, and And Billy and Jeff were over in like the engineering room, or if you want to call it, where the computer was. And
What
stuff.
record were you all making?
My God, that might have been like a Last
Catastrophe.
Yeah,
If you were
yeah.
there on drums, it was
Yeah,
Last Catastrophe.
It was Last Catastrophe. And I had a ditty. I think it was Burn Me Alive.
Burn Me Alive.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I was dead.
And so there was like multiple bands jammed there. So there was like this guitar, there was an amp or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I flicked on the amp, boom, it's on. I found the guitar, it was sitting there messing around, and they were trying to get the thing ready for me to go ahead and record, so I could like record that thing. And while they were doing stuff over on my end, like they were having problems over on their end of stuff, and on my end, like. Now, mind you, when I had like turn up the volume knob on that guitar, it took effort. Like it wasn't oiled up or anything. It was rusty. And I was playing, and all of a sudden, like the sound kind of went out. I was like, "Oh, this is weird." And looked at the amp. Oh, the light's on. Yep, we got power. I'm like, chord. I pulled out the cord. Put it to your tongue or thumb. Yep. Okay. Plugged it back in the guitar. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, the volume knob went from 10, which took hard as shit to get there, all the way back down to 0. I'm like, okay, well, let's adjust that again. Hard as hell to pull. Boom, there it is. It's on. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, you guys ready? And while Billy's trying to do that, Jeff is like talking about like trying to do like a seance, like, oh, great spirits of this building, we congregate you to come to this. Yeah, he's like starts like, I don't know, inviting them or some shit. And
I earnest war.
and multiple times, Billy's like, Jeff, you don't know what you're doing. Please be quiet. And so once again, the volume, the guitar cuts out. I'm like, so I go instantly volume knob. Nope, it's there. All right, okay. The amp is now off. Weird.
Like switched off?
Switched off.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's weird. Boom, back on again. Jeff now is getting louder with the seance shit or whatever, right? and I'm still like, man, this is really weird. And out of nowhere, why Jeff is like saying like, oh, spirits of the Freemasons, blah, like whatever he's doing, dude, something pulled my hair, came and pinched my hair at the back, went boop, like pulled, like felt it to the point to where I reacted like like someone comes up behind you and pulls your hair, you instantly throw up your hand and react like, hey,
hey, what are you doing,
like,
buddy?
Hey, look back, right? And I did that to find out, like, because my hair was pulled in a ponytail, you could see
a great big strand
where a strand of it was popped out of place. Yeah. And man, I was like, Jeff, shut the fuck up. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. Am I disturbing you? I'm like, no. But the whole time you're over here channeling the spirits, they're over here fucking with me. And that's when I realized, I was like, wow, whatever it is paranormal wise and stuff,
you're a true believer.
100% real. Yeah. And then later on, we had an experience when a group of friends of mine went to the Mansfield Reformatory, and I was shoved. Like, it felt like someone came out of the cell and just went boom and pushed me.
Really?
And I lost my footing, hit me hard, lost my footing, landed into the other wall,
and there was no one near you.
Nobody.
No shit. I only walked in there for a moment. 2 years ago, I went to one of those incarceration concerts, and the friend of mine that I was with was determined to get me my first tattoo, which I was against. But this guy's as big as a linebacker, and he's like, "You're getting one today," and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, "I can't. How am I going to say no to this?" And we went in, and a guy stopped us and was like, "Do you have an appointment?" We're like, "Nope." He's like, "We're all booked for the weekend. No walk-ins." I went, "Aw, shoot,
darn!
I can't get my very first tattoo. Sorry, guys."
No Kermit the Frog here.
But we did walk in for a minute and just look around. We didn't go deep. You know what I mean? We didn't go through the thing because it wasn't open for the tour. It was only open for the tattoo artists. Every artist had a cell.
We were completely locked.
You were all up in there.
A lock-in shutdown.
Oh God!
For 24 hours.
And you signed up for that?
Yeah. So we got there around, I think it was around 10 in the morning or so or whatever. Met a guy. He was like, hey,
I can put you in jail for the weekend. I know a lot of guys that could say that.
Did it like a small tour type of thing? Like, hey, this is this and this.
Right.
This is where
Here's where they film Shawshank.
Yeah. This is also where we get our most this cell block is where we get the most activity. Blah,
this was
all
on
this
the
stuff.
Ghostbuster TV show.
He's like, you guys have and then and we had coolers, water, snacks, all that. Sleeping bags, even though none of us slept that fucking night at all. But then they turn off the light. All right, I'll see you guys back here at 10 a.m. Locks the gate, and they turn off the lights, so there's no electricity in that thing.
But why? Oh God!
And then it's where we have free reign of that place to do whatever. Like, yeah, and then
Like
I don't-
shit your pants the whole time.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's like because like you go to haunted houses and everything, and like
Yeah.
what's the next the adrenaline junkie?
Yeah.
What's the next thing?
We're gonna sleep in a prison.
Why not sleep in a haunted fucking like why not? Yeah, let's
I do
be
my
the-
best to
sit
stay
down.
out of prison. I can't believe you'd want to.
But
do
I've
that
had
on your
I've
own.
had multiple different paranormal weird experiences and stuff. That like like you will not get me to mess with a Ouija board. Anyone that does, you're a fool.
Okay.
Like hands down, you're a fool. You're opening up
He
something.
won't even shake a magic 8-ball.
You are opening up something and dealing with something you do not know what you're dealing with, and you do not close it right. You are
Right.
like
All I know is when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
yes, exactly.
What'd you do, Ray?
What did you do?
I'm sorry, guys. I tried to clear my mind, but I couldn't. So I just thought about the most innocent thing I possibly could from my childhood.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow. Your destroyer has been chosen.
When we went to incarceration, we accidentally went in the wrong entrance, which is hard to do because they have that thing really sectioned off for the fan goers of the concert. And we went. I mean, you could see the building. Like we saw the concert stage. We thought we were going in the right parking lot entrance, and to what looked like attendants wearing high vis stopped us. And she took one scan at who was in our car, and she goes, "Are you guys here for the concert?" And we're like, "Uh-huh." She goes, "This is the wrong entrance. We were in line to go to the real reformatory, which is right next door, the present." So if anybody hasn't been to Mansfield Reformatory, the haunted one is to the left and looks like Harry Potter's village because it's all old and archaic and castle-y. The one on the right that looks like modern, it kind of looks like it's thrown together scaffoldings, and it's like a new age one, like a facility.
Yeah.
It looks like a containment facility. Doesn't even look like a prison. It looks like a Amazon warehouse or something.
FEMA camp.
We were
I've been in there.
We were in line for that one, and we got stopped, and they were like, "Turn around. You want to go next door?" And we're like, "Yes, ma'am. We got no reason to be where you're at." Okay, yep, we are
You
turning
said
around.
X is on the left, two doors
Yes,
down.
ma'am. Yes, sir. We will turn around presently and hope to never see you again.
Greatly understood. But
Yeah,
we are out of here.
I understand the assignment. We're turning around. It was like we went to Manhattan in 2001 in October, the month after 9/11, because we had concert tickets and we didn't know if they were going to honor it. It was such a weird time.
It was a weird time.
Especially right there. And this was before MapQuest, before GPS. We had the AAA fold-out map of how to drive to New York. And so we were like
You
looking
take 90 and you go east.
we were looking at road maps to get through Manhattan in a Dodge pickup truck, and it was, oh my God, that's a whole story on its
You
own.
did have that. I forgot about
I
that.
know.
Oh
So
my!
we were going to
you
see-
took that to NYC?
Yeah, we were in the heart of Manhattan. We were going to see Phantomas, and we got lost, as one could do in New York, in a car, and we got stopped by an officer, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're trying to find 34th Street, Hotel Pennsylvania, blah blah blah." He goes like, "You're way in the wrong area." And he was super nice because he scanned us, and I had long hair, I had dreads, I had a facial piercing. He was like, "You don't want to be here," and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "Oh, is that?" And I didn't even have to say the words.
Yep.
I was like, "Am I about to drive to?" He goes, "Yeah, turn around." And it was like, "Yes, sir." Same vibe. Like, didn't mean any disrespect. I'm turning around right now. You're right. This is not where I was trying to go. You got me. And I will see you never.
We had
Boom. I was gone.
when
Weird feeling.
when
to do.
the surf rock band that Baker and I played in did a weekend stint in NYC. Ray and I, my girlfriend or fiance, whatever you want to call her, we decided like we're gonna go like exploring on our own and all that crap or whatever. And
Oh, yeah, this story.
and it got like really like late at night. And what they don't tell you in New York, so when you first go in the daytime and you read the maps for like the subways and all that stuff, all of that is accurate. So you can go, oh, okay, train E goes up here and drops us up here over Upper Manhattan. Okay, we can get the bus to this. You can plan out your route,
Sure.
and that all works out using public transit.
Yep.
What they don't tell you is at nighttime, all that changes, and those routes that would go there and stuff no longer go those routes and stuff. So
Okay.
at night, trying to plan your escape out of NYC or whatever
It's difficult.
becomes a little more difficult. And we ended up on like this bus where we were like the only white people on the bus. No big deal. And we ended up actually giving up our seats to these older black ladies came on. We're like, man, like, ladies, you can have our seats here. And they're like, for some reason, they're like, that was the world to them for some reason. And I was like, yeah, I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Unfortunate that it would have to be that way.
Yeah, so it ended up being like we ended up moving back to like the kind of like the back of the bus or whatever, and then the bus is going along to stop, and I'm like, well, this next stop should be coming up here or whatever, and all of a sudden we like make a different turn, and the bus driver like looks up and he's like, what the hell are y'all doing on my bus? And we're like, doesn't this bus go here? He's like, yeah, during the daytime, but not at night. He was like, we're like, okay, sorry, it's obvious we're not from here.
I'm not from here. I'm sorry.
And he was like, he's like, that ain't good, and we ain't in a good neighborhood. And he's like, and I gotta take my break, so you can't be on this bus. I was like, okay, so what do we do? He's like, I'm gonna tell you what you guys are gonna do. He's like, there is a, he's like, you see where this light post is right here? And we're like, yeah. He's like, you are gonna stay right there and not move from that light post. Do not move from that light at all. He's like, I'm gonna be right over here, and like, we just can't chill on the bus. He's like, no. I was like,
it's against regulation.
Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever, man. We'll hang out here.
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
But yeah, but like apparently we were in like
the hood,
a sketchy spot. Yeah, and and it was only about 20 minutes or so, and he fired up and got on. He's like, I'm gonna take you. He's like, where are you guys trying to go? And we're like, this is what we're trying to do, and he helped us out. Thank God.
That's awesome.
But dude, Ryan, what was that? That was like after the first show. The first show was done around like 9:00 or something like that.
Yeah, we played a Thursday and a Saturday up there.
Yeah, and our hotel room was back in Jersey City, and we did not get back there until about after 8:30 in the morning.
Oh my
so.
God.
Oh, dude, it was.
Now, could you have taken a cab? I mean, I know you were
Probably
doing
more.
It would have been way. Yeah, it would have been like
big time money,
super costly.
Big
yeah.
time money.
I
Was that before Uber?
No, Uber and Lyft was still around, and we did that a couple times and stuff, and that was actually cheaper than taking the taxis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I think the taxis are like.
Taxis weren't running. No,
Union or-
taxis weren't running. It was at nighttime, so taxis weren't running at night.
I thought that was a city that never sleeps.
You would think so, but
Or is that Vegas?
No, they take a lot of weed naps or something.
Right. Well, they do now.
Yeah. But no, like a lot of that just like no more. It was an experience.
Good Lord. Sketchy. Well, boys, we're at the end of this episode.
We got I got a real Subway sandwich from a bum on a Subway.
Oh, a Subway sandwich.
He had like a
shared a sandwich with you?
It was a party tray of like little of like where they get a Subway sandwich, they cut it up.
Yeah, for like an office or something.
Yeah, we went on the Subway, and he was like, he's like, hey, how's it going? He's like, anyone? Are you guys hungry? You want a sandwich? We're like, oh,
That's
no.
really cool though.
It was nice, but at the same time, it was like, where did that guy get those sandwiches from?
Sure.
Like,
I get it.
what trash can were those laying on top of? And he like, but
he shared them with you.
But well, wanted to.
Oh,
we
man.
were like, we're like, no, we're like, there's like. There's more people. There's more people needing that sandwich.
Yeah,
than
there's
us.
a
We're
good nature in that.
Yeah, but there was a cool
offering,
nature. Yeah. And he gave one to the one homeless guy next to him or whatever. And we came to us, it stopped, and he told the homeless guy, he's like, hey, watch these sandwiches. I'm going to get up, but I'll be right back. And all he did was exit the one door, enter into the door of the car behind us, and then come through that door that connects the trains, right? It's just a little loop, right? In the meantime of that, which only took like a minute maybe or less, the homeless guy that he made in charge of watching the sandwiches goes and pulls off the tomato slice off his sandwich and sucks off the seeds and spits those out. And then puts the tomato slice back onto the sandwich, and then takes another sandwich and like puts it in his pocket or whatever, hides it, right?
Okay.
Like steals the sandwich.
Okay.
And then proceeds to eat the sandwich. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So the other guy comes back, and some other people come on. He's like, hey, would you like a sandwich? Would you like a sandwich? We're like, oh, no thanks. Thank you, or no thank you. And then that guy was like, hey, I have another sandwich. And that guy was like, what the fuck? Like instantly, like record stop. Like, what the fuck? I told you could have one. You can't have two. Now no one else could eat because you gotta eat. Like, I was like, oh shit.
wow.
I was like, oh shit, we're about to see a bum fight. Like, holy fuck. Like this, like all the things I wanted to see in New York City are happening in this
boy.
like 5-minute intense fucking subway ride.
My God.
But yeah, the guy offered me a Subway a sandwich, or whatever,
Yeah.
and of course Baker goes, oh, "Dude, you got offered a real Subway sandwich."
You know, the best part of New York was to go full circle with a story we told a couple episodes ago. We were driving through New York City, and we saw this chick laying on the ground pooping herself.
Oh man.
And no one was giving a fuck about it. They were just
just
like
And they walked right over.
right over, like, man.
See, that's the part that sucks about a big city, man. Everybody's kind of
But that was the
one
only
track
really
mind
like
doing their own
one.
thing.
That was like the one like bum that they were stepping like get a job, whatever. Like, but most part it was like I didn't see any cigarette butts on the ground anywhere.
Right.
Like it was. I went back before 9/11. Like before 9/11 happened, the World Trade Center was there. I think Cats was on Broadway and all that. And every corner someone was trying to sell me a fake Rolex, a fake Oakley's, and all that crap. There was none of that there anymore. Like it's cleaned. It's cleaned like you could drop a piece of food on the ground, like a street of New York City, and totally get away with like a 1 minute rule.
Okay.
Picking it back up and eating it.
I don't know if I'd have done that.
No, but
you could.
You could. Like I
think, maybe foolishly, I think that what happened, I think it, afterwards, I think people had like a communal pride, like a city, like this is our city. You know what I mean? I want to say kind of like I went to New Orleans before Katrina and I've been there 6 times since Katrina.
So gross.
And, well, the thing is, after something crazy happens, everybody goes, this is my place. I want to take care of it. I want to keep it. I care about everybody who's here. Like a real, you know what I mean? A
Then
community.
stop pooping in the river. Like,
Yeah, like a community thing. Like I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I
that's
get it.
naive, but
No,
it
but-
seems like a reinvigorated sense of this is our place. This is our home. We're gonna fight for it. We'll take care of each other. Hopefully, it's still like that in all those places.
I would say
I know
like,
New Orleans. is. I
First
was
time
just there last
visiting New
year.
York, I was always checking my 6 and like
Sure.
wherever, and I felt very relaxed, at ease, and comfortable at this time. Even though like we're at places like in
That
like,
shouldn't make
we
you
were
feel comfortable.
No, like we
Yeah.
were walking through Central Park past midnight, like. And if you ask anybody that's in New York, they're like,
You don't do that.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, but we were still like, we're going to find strawberry fields. And it was such a letdown.
Hey, boys, I'm going to jump off here. I got to handle some family stuff, all right?
All right, we're gonna let you go because we're gonna wrap up this episode. But Ryan, we love you.
Ryan, don't suck a
Yep,
dick
I'll
for
see you guys
Coke.
next week.
Yep, we'll see you in person next time.
Your kids will regret it.
Have fun out there. Don't get any poison oak on your butt.
Can't promise.
All right.
All right, gentlemen.
See you, homie. Nice. It's like he was really here. Where's the pig?
Oh, wait.
Do a little fart sound. It's like he's really here.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. John, Joe,
I play Warwick.
we're going to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
John is the best.
The always
were talking
poetic
about this.
John Risher.
You, like, this. Okay. You're not as spontaneous as like, or absent-minded or ADD as Ryan Scott and I and stuff, but like you play like the perfect like straight man for our ridiculousness. It's
I'm
a
like
really
the king of the one-liners.
it's a really good fucking match.
Well,
I think
Like,
I said like 2 sentences the whole podcast.
When you could
you did. You didn't talk at all.
Well, he asked me a question, then you answered it for me. So it's like,
Good
I
job,
looked-
Joe.
Well, because he was like, John, what do you think about this? And you're like, well. and I look over at Scott. He's like,
Well, there he goes. He was on a roll today.
Yeah.
Just throw something at me.
Throw the pig. No, we were saying
Settle down, pig.
when you couldn't make it before, we went off on a tangent and no one helped steer the bus back to normal. And we're like, John does that with us.
yeah.
John's the guy like, all right.
so
bring
I'm
it."
like the man mom. I had this conversation with Ryan because he was like, yes, you are.
Yeah, John's
And I'm
our
like,
band mom.
man. Well, I love you guys.
John, when I asked you if you would join the group, it was like, I need help.
You're like, help me.
I need help. We're idiots and we wander aimlessly. I need help.
We have these crazy ideas and no one says no.
One of the first shows I had with you guys, it was funny because Scott was so mad. And like I can relate because I was this guy like many times. I know the episode's over, but we're going to close with this one. And we were playing a show at a place that we play every year. and you and Ryan were playing ball tag, and he's like, "Calm down, man. The owner is right there." He's
here we
like,
got-
"They're gonna fire us."
I've always been that
Oh
guy.
yeah. You're like,
Well, I said that on
there's
one
so
of
many
our,
times where you would want to say something but didn't.
And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" You're like, "Hold on, we're having fun."
No, that was the one where, yeah.
We were at the amphitheater. Yeah, we
the
were.
owner-
It was
All
like
right.
when it rained like crazy.
The owner
and-
came in
All
and was
right,
like,
cops
well,
are called
boys, you
every
got to
time.
go. I called the cops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dad.
I was like, oh, shit, he called the cops. We got to go.
Oh my
And
God.
we've been fired.
Dude, I was so afraid. Like, I was so afraid of him after, like like Jennifer and Nita were cool as shit, but I was like,
yeah.
their dad terrifies me. Like,
Yeah.
You know, he's an awesome dude, though.
yeah. Oh,
We've
yeah.
gotten to know him so much
Yeah.
better since then. But yeah, early days we were like, well, you boys got to get the hell out of here.
Oh my god.
Playing ball tag with your rolled up carpets.
Oh yeah.
And there'll be more of that in a couple of weeks. Well, yeah, it feels like a couple of weeks from now.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
Still gotta get
close.
through
We got about 7 weeks.
Yep.
I
roughly.
still have a birthday to get through.
Yeah, you do.
You?
Yeah.
How old are you gonna be?
62.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
664.
You look good for your age.
When I'm 64.
Yeah,
Boom,
no,
boom.
I can play that terrible song. No, I'll be 44.
Nice. Double deuces times 2. All right.
Damn.
Well, on behalf of us three and Ryan in spirit, we're the Imaginary Cookies. This was 99 stories.
And this was one.
This was one. See you next time. Boots with the squirrels.
This episode was brought to you by BlueWaffle.com.
For all your travel needs, hotels.bluewaffle. When you're in Hocking Hills, you can hawk on a lot on bluewaffle.com.
Highly suggest the Blue Waffle zip line and the Blue Waffle hot tub.
Friends with Benedicts, dude.
Friends with Benedict. I thought it was weird when I put BlueWaffle.com on the chat that
didn't
it was
pop
a
up.
it was a bankruptcy attorney thing like popped up. I was like, what is that? Like what? What in the world?